Perfect Dark has been cancelled and Initiative Studios has been closed down, so turn the volume up. Let's talk about it. Big day at Xbox. Big day at Xbox. They've let go of a lot of people. I think all the news and information about the layoffs hasn't really reverberated through the media yet, so there's still probably little nuggets and little tidbits to find out about, but they've got rid of a lot of staff over the last 24 hours. And it's been very chaotic. The layoffs have been a bit nuts. But out of all of this, Perfect Dark the reboot has been cancelled, which is a big shame. I was really looking forward to the game, but I made a video of it about a month ago that I suspected that this was going to happen, or at least that it was it was having problems as I sort of dug deep into like how long this game had been in development for. Just to give everyone a brief rundown of that, it's been in development since 2018. It was paired with another studio to help them out. I can't remember that studio's name. They then left in 2020 or 2021 around COVID time, citing that the initiative was very hard to work with as a studio. They then partnered with Crystal Dynamics, who are doing all the Tomb Raider reboots and the newer Tomb Raider games. Since like the ones that came on like Xbox 360, I think they've done it since then. They then got bought out by a big conglomerate in 2022, and it's been very difficult to get the staff correct since then. So I think like 7 to 11 staff got let go from Crystal Dynamics that were working on Perfect Dark about mid last year. And when the initial takeover happened, I think some staff got redeployed in other areas and got taken off Perfect Dark. So I surmise that like I'm very worried about the game, or I was about a month ago, just because we just went through Games Fest. There was no mention of it. We haven't had really any proper gameplay footage. I mean, we had the little CGI trailer thing, but we haven't really had too much been shown of the game. So I was quite worried about it, and yeah, it's been shut down. Do want to be a little bit empathetic. A lot of people just lost their jobs today, and that sucks. I've worked for a Fortune 200 company. We used to call them the Thanos events, when like just half the people their passes don't work anymore. Thankfully, it never happened to me. But you know, it sucked. It sucked morale-wise just inside the business. And I'd always remember, like, 2 weeks later, some business exec would come down and be like, man, morale's low here. And it's like, yeah, you just got rid of everyone. We like some of them. I do think sometimes you can get rid of, like, 5% of a business or 10%, like the lowest performer people or the people that really bring down morale. But when you start pushing numbers higher than that, or you've done that recently, and do it again, it really does put a strain on the business as a whole. So I do think that this studio being shut down is a little bit separate to the layoffs as a whole in Microsoft. So Microsoft have let go of a lot of people very recently, and the Phil Spencer message that came out about this really towed the line of Microsoft. We've taken the lead that Microsoft have gone down to via middle management, where there can be a lot of bloat. So like I do understand, and they hire thousands of employees. So when they get rid of like 100 or 200 or 500, it seems like a giant number, but for them it's really not a huge amount. Especially as they start to really utilize AI tools. Microsoft is really starting to find that there's that gap in that middle management that they probably didn't need. They don't need as much now. And it's interesting that Phil Spencer directly used that line. So this is definitely coming from the parent company of Microsoft of you need to cut. So when you look at the studios and you look at everything, and only one studio got taken down out of all this. When you've got a studio that's been working on a game since 2018, hasn't worked well with others, doesn't have a playable demo even ready, and reports say that this game was still years away from being built. They shifted from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, and it just seemed like the game was nowhere near it. The only thing we really heard was the voice actor had done a lot of the lines. Then that's an easy studio to close. That's an easy like bracket on an Excel spreadsheet when a CFO goes through and just sees the amount of money going through, and you just go, there we have that. It's been a money pit. It's been a money pit for 7 years. This studio was specifically built to make Perfect Dark. There's been no Perfect Dark coming out. There isn't anything in the horizon. So as much as it sucks, and I feel for anyone that's lost their job, because I'm sure there's people in that studio that made some really cool stuff and poured a lot of their creativity juices into this game, but ultimately it was still so far away from coming out that I kind of get it from a business standpoint. It sucks. It sucks. But you know, if you take the emotion out of it, it might be a little bit more understandable, especially if the higher up say you need to save this amount of money, it's pretty easy to go, well, there's I think they mentioned they're still working on 40 games. There's still 40 games in the background, and they could probably see the horizon in those games, in that, you know, there's money at the end of it. And there's this studio here that's produced nothing. No one's worked well with them. And it's still a lot far away off. It's easy to get rid of that than a studio that's functioning quite well. So yeah, it sucks for Perfect Dark and the reboot. Like, it just hasn't got as much love as some of the other old series. I still feel like a lot of the staff from there, from even like the Halo series, have spun off and made other games and done other things, and other shooters that did quite well. Even the GoldenEye team, a lot of them have gone off to do cool stuff where you just look at Perfect Dark, and it was such a good game when it came out. The story's a bit all over the shop, and anyone that argues with that is insane. It starts off as a spy thriller, and then you end up in a Martian planet. Like, it gets out of hand quite quickly, the story. But like the multiplayer, I just remember even just having bots on console. This is in cartridge days. This is Nintendo 64. Was unbelievable, and just the level of game, the amount of game that you got with Perfect Dark, with paying that full price, was incredible. And the gunplay played quite well. It was a real upgrade from GoldenEye when it came to the aiming and doing things. Not to say that, I mean, GoldenEye itself was quite revolutionary as well. And it's just a shame that, like, the next one was Perfect Dark Zero. That game is almost unplayable. I'm actually playing through that game now to make a video on what went wrong with it, and it's just so many things. They really lost what was the essence of Perfect Dark, I feel. And then it's just such a shame that we've now got to hear, you know, we're like, oh, there's this game in the works, it's kind of cool, and everyone's just sort of kept an eye on it, and it's just gone nowhere. It's done nothing. And it's just a real kick to the teeth, because I think this is it now for Perfect Dark, at least for the next decade. Like, there's not going to be another Perfect Dark game till at least 2035. Obviously, you know, there's the emotional side of things. If you are from one of these studios and you've been let go, like I said, I've seen this multiple times. I used to work for a massive company. It sucks. It just sucks. But a lot of them, like, got on their feet, found a job pretty quickly. So usually, you know, there's some pretty talented people that are now out there in the job market, so someone else is gonna win from that. Someone else is gonna win from that, because some real creative people are now gonna be joining other studios, which is good for us. But yeah, Turn 10 also lost a few. One thing I will quickly mention is there was an MMO RPG shooter that was taken out, and it was rumored to be a Mandalorian themed game, so that kind of sucked. I don't know how far along that was, but that was the big rumor. But yeah, just sucks about Perfect Dark. I'm not surprised by this, just because, again, I didn't go as hard last month with saying, like, I think this won't go ahead, but I was saying that I was extremely worried, just because I was just going through all the stats with it, and I had no idea that this game was in such development hell, and that they had to pretty much repivot to a new engine, and I was just like, that's not good. That's going to make it so easy to get rid of. And as I said, Microsoft still has 40 games in the works. This is the only studio they shut down. Although they did get rid of 50% of staff at Turn 10, which it makes Forza Motorsport, not Forza Horizon. That's like Play something. But that could have been a lot of marketing and sales staff, and that game's obviously, you know, in another development cycle now. So it might be, hey, let's get rid of these people, let's hire these people. So it's not, you know, you don't know how many staff are at a place. They might have done a really big hire, and then they've just kind of, you know, gone through that, or have gone, hey, the next game won't be for another 5 years. And they're like, okay, well, you probably don't need a track designer anymore because they're not going to be, you're not making any new tracks for a fair few years. So it could be something on those lines. So I'm not too sure. And I wonder if with like AI tools with these racing games, I can see that being deployed a little bit more when it comes to designing tracks or copying tracks. I could see that starts to be, that's one of those jobs that you can start to see like, oh, well, you're just kind of copying something else, right? And like how a car handles. I could see how AI could help there. So maybe there's something to do with that. But anyway, but yeah, it's sad for Perfect Dark. Like, it's just sad for anyone that's a fan of Perfect Dark and wanting to play these games. I was really keen on this, and like I just feel like every game that I've kind of been really keen on. Like I was really keen that Bungie had a new game, Marathon. Yeah, that we all know how that's going at the moment. Although I have a bit of faith, but yeah, it just kind of sucks that every game I seem to be, oh man, I can't wait to get a bit more about this and learn a bit more and really get that hype train up. Yeah, just kind of the rug gets pulled out from under it. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta wait on things and see how things go. But yeah, if if a game takes that long, I just can imagine that the way that I operated when I worked for a big company was I just made myself almost impossible to fire, or very difficult to fire. I did a lot of different things, so it was just kind of like whenever my name, because these just happen in like a room. It would be like a few C-level staff, maybe a head business manager, and they just talk, and they literally just start like mentioning names, and then I know for a fact that whenever my name came up, they'd be like, oh, he does this and that, and then, oh, he does this thing too. Would have to train someone to do, oh, and then this, and then it just became like, oh, it's too difficult, leave him. And I was good. Like I made them more money than I cost by a few fold. So yeah, but it's just, I can imagine when you're a business and you're owned by this conglomerate, it's the same thing, right? Like it's just making yourself very difficult to let go. Like there's some studios, I think the one that makes Hellblade, didn't do too well sales wise, but I think they've got like a lot of motion capture stuff that they let other studios use. So I could see why like they survive these rounds of cuts every single time, because they have other things that you know, like the Madden team can come in and use, and they can license that out and sell that out to make a profit. So yeah, I think like they just didn't make themselves unfireable, I guess. And yeah, with no game to show, you're a game studio. You at some point there's a business element to this, and the game needs to come out. But man, I really wanted it. I just wanted it, even if it was just the story and the multiplayer was a bit shitty. I was just kind of keen for it. But oh well, we're not getting it. And yeah, I think this is it for Perfect Dark. I really think this is the end of the road now, because I just think like, come 10 years from now, even 5 years, the people that played it, like I'm 37. I'm 37 years old, which is just, that's old. It starts to get a bit sad. But if like you go 10 more years, they're rebooting that. I'm 50, or 13 years, I'm 50. Who is going to be, you know, there's no one that's 20 that's going to remember this game. Like, you know, they'll be well and truly past the 64. It'll start to be like the really old, you know, a Nintendo 64 in 15 years will be like the ancient console that no one played, you know, that are 18 years old. So I just can't imagine there's going to be any real love for that game. So I think this might be it for the franchise. I think this might be where it dies, which is a real shame. Like, kind of when Rare was bought out by Microsoft, it kind of spelt the end for this. Although they're doing fairly well with Sea of Thieves, that just kind of dropped into my head. I'm rambling now. So I'm gonna edit this up. I'm gonna cut this up. If you made it this far, hit the subscribe button, because that really does help us out, especially motivation-wise, just doing all these news videos and gameplays and stuff like that. I've also got a review on Mecha Break. We've got a lot of game reviews coming out. There's a lot of games coming out on Xbox and PC. Bryce is also getting some stuff done. But yeah, we streamed Mecha Break last night. It was pretty fun. Comment down below. What do you think? Are you sad that we're losing Perfect Dark? What are your thoughts down below? Maybe pour one out for the developers. There's some, like I said, some good people just got made unemployed today, which kind of sucks. Hit the like button, because then the algorithm sends it to other people that are interested in Perfect Dark, and then it algorithms more, and then it becomes a snowballing of algorithms. Yeah, that's me. That's the video. I'm going to cut this up, edit this up, and then get this out. Like I said, we've got a review on Mecha Break later today. And that I might do one for turn 10, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on. Anyway, I'm Brenton. This is Redolin Live, and I'm out of here. Bye.